Hey everyone, Sean Peers, President and CEO of DentalPeers, bringing you today's installment of Meet Our Partners. And today we are joined by Rita Baumgartner from RecallMax. Hey Rita, she's waving at everybody there. And the smile is out already because she's happy to be here joining us and getting the chance to say hi to everyone. RecallMax has been a partner of ours for a couple of years now. We're always happy to have them on board. And if you're not familiar with them, this is your opportunity to learn more. So I'm going to let Rita introduce herself and talk a little bit about RecallMax. How are you doing, Rita?
I'm good. Thank you, Sean. Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. So yeah, I'm Rita. I'm with RecallMax. I'm actually a hygienist by trade. I've been in the field for it's 14 years now.
That's not possible. Come on.
I know, right? Don't look it. But no, I started off as a recall coordinator, actually working front desk while I was waiting for my hygiene license. And yeah, I've been with RecallMax for, don't mind my dishwasher there. Been with RecallMax for 3 years now. And I'm loving every day of it. It's a great company to work for. And just to give you a little bit of history of RecallMax, it was developed by dental consultants and started off as a recall management software system, but has evolved over the years to be dentistry's most comprehensive practice enhancement solution. So it's and we're in 1 in every 4 offices now in Canada. So super exciting.
And that's a big thing too. One of the things that we always like to do is, hey, it's a Canadian company.
Yeah, based out of Calgary.
Yeah, based in Calgary. So our Calgary members should definitely be familiar with you guys if they're not already. Let's change that. Talk to us a little bit about some of the stuff that's been going on. I mean, I know when I first signed up and brought RecallMax on as a partner, as you said, it was largely about patient communication systems and stuff like that. And the role has really grown and enhanced, and it's probably had to do a lot of very fast evolving as a result of everything been going on with COVID. What sort of an impact have you seen that having on, people that you work with and how you've been able to help them out?
Yeah. So just to your point, I mean, we have changed and evolved, and it comes from, we have an in-house development team that's constantly working on improving the software, and we're constantly listening to our clients to what their needs are. So that makes us really special as well, because we're always catering our software to what makes sense for the dental industry and what the needs are based on our clients. And we've always sort of had this community feel. We want to help the dental community. And so what we did when COVID hit was we wanted to help not only our own clients, but everybody. So we had all these resources built into the software, such as call scripts or plans to reopen, so that people didn't have to stress about thinking about what to do and what the next steps would be. And I mean, that comes from our consulting roots, right? They know the plan that you need to have to be successful in a practice. And so that's exactly what we've done is created that plan, created the resources there to know what to say, especially, I mean, during a time like COVID, communication is key, right? Everyone's got to be on the same page. There's a lot of fear and anxiety going on with patients feeling comfortable or not feeling comfortable with coming in. So we want to make sure that our communication is there. We're saying the same things. And then, of course, we're instilling confidence in what we're saying as well, if we're all sort of on that same page. And we made these resources available to everybody. So they're actually downloadable on our website on www.recallmax.com. And then if you click on COVID resources, you can download them. You can even customize the call scripts as well. And of course, we're always giving back. Even before COVID at the PDC, for instance, what we were doing was anybody that had done a demo with us, we were actually donating to an elephant sanctuary. So we've always sort of got our toes in the water for charity. I mean, in December, we were also doing a promo where if you hopped on a demo with us, we donated to the Ronald McDonald Charity House. So
well, you're gonna have to find a way to link up then, because I mean, what DentalPeers, you may know, the charitable endeavor I've chosen to be to support has been the Canadian Centre to End Human Trafficking. So we're gonna have to team up with something on that one.
Yeah, for sure, would love to.
Yeah, and that's great too. Like you talk about the importance of adaptability, right? I mean, that's going to be a huge thing. And I've noticed too, one of the things that has come out pretty recently has been those forms. Talk to me about these forms now, because I mean, this is still a learning process for me too, right?
Yeah. So with the forms, obviously there's, it's a lot of work, right? To be sending the forms out and then, reviewing the form, making sure that they've answered all the right questions or that there is no, risk there. So what we did is we built our integrated forms and we drop them into the patient file within your scheduling platform. So that's really awesome because it's just huge time saver there for the team. The form actually, if a patient answers yes to any of the questions, it does tell them, hey, this is a risk, you need to call the office. So again, because you obviously don't want them coming in. So if we can take care of those forms for you for the majority of patients that are communicating via text and email, then we're taking a huge load off of that front desk, right? And that's what the whole goal of RecallMax is how can we help you work more efficiently, reduce that stress, reduce that workload. It's like having a personal assistant there beside you, sort of doing the work that you don't necessarily have the time for.
Right. And you touched on something that I think is really important too, and that's that idea that you can kind of customize some of the scripts and everything for some of the offices. Because one of the things, and it's kind of interesting timing, was I did a webinar last night with Julie Friesen, and one of the things that we were talking about, of course, is, I mean, technology is really becoming that much more important in all aspects of our life, and the dental practice is certainly no exception to that. And it's great for creating efficiencies, and we love the efficiencies. On the one hand, that's a positive. On the other hand, the more that everyone's adopting sort of similar technologies and stuff like that, how do the dentists differentiate themselves from those other dentists who are using similar technologies? And there's so many different choices that people have between RecallMax and other competitors that purport to do the same thing. So what is going to be making it different with going with RecallMax as opposed to one of the other options, so that dentists can have the benefit of those technological efficiencies, but still really be able to stand out from the crowd, if you will?
Yeah, great question. And I mean, our market is sort of flooded with all these different systems that are automated communication, and they all sort of do it well, which is automated confirmations, automated recalls, sending out the forms, surveys. But that's not what's ultimately helping the practice grow, right? Because it works great from a confirmation aspect, but it's not so good. People don't use it as much for booking a recall or booking a new appointment. So what our focus is capitalizing on your existing patient base that you still need to personally engage. And we know that, personal engagement is a 20 to 30% higher response rate. So we've used automation to skip steps, so that way the front end team is not spending as much time working on their recalls or spending as much time having, to work through a treatment plan. We sort of do the thinking for them, flag them with all the information that they need to know. So what would normally take them 4 to 7 minutes is taking them 1 to 2 minutes within RecallMax. And because we're fully integrated, we'll even push communication notes into the system itself. So we're just using automation in a different way. Yes, we have the same automated communication that everybody else does, but we're just taking it 10 steps further to give them more tools to be able to keep that schedule full without that manual labor, without all that stress and all that workload.
And that's the ticket, right? I mean, it's great to be able to send out communication reminders to patients and everything about appointments that they have scheduled, and they know that they've got scheduled, and maybe they just need a little bit of a reminder. But it's another thing to be able to actually use that same technology to make sure that patients aren't slipping through the cracks, that you can look and see that, oh, this patient didn't book their appointment when they left the last time they were in. Let's not forget about them.
Exactly. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because we are one of the only systems that are fully integrated on screen and catch the patients that fall through the crack, even the ones that don't have the continuing care attached to them, or they don't have a cell phone number or email address, or any of these things. We're flagging with that information that is missing, so that you can sort of clean up your system, ensure that no one's falling through the cracks. And then of course we have systems built in to help you with your follow-ups as well. So that way a follow-up doesn't fall through the crack as well, because there's so much going on at the front desk to keep track of, that sometimes we have it all up in here. We have all these post-it notes, and then we forget things, right? It used to happen to me all the time. So it's nice that we have that. And then on the flip side, you brought up dentists. We have an entire analytical side to us that is tying in those actions with analytics, so that you can better manage the practice, see what's working, see what's not working, see where improvements can be made. Maybe staff needs more time, maybe they need to redirect their focus, but unless you have those analytics that are showing you, you don't really know what steps to take.
Exactly. And that kind of touches a little bit where I wanted to go too. I mean, this is all sounding great, and on the picture stuff. Day to day, how is that going to affect the work that your front office team is doing, that maybe the dentists are doing, maybe even like the hygiene team. How does RecallMax make a difference in their lives on a day-to-day level?
Yeah, so it's like I said before, it's like having a personal assistant there. I mean, yes, there's an automated communication side that's confirming and letting patients know when they're due, but they're giving them the tools to be able to fill cancellations real quick, and that's a very stressful thing. And there's an increase of cancellations right now, obviously with COVID. So with our system, you've got those tools in place to be able to target patients that are able to come in a specific time slot. We've got a virtual waiting room that hygienists can actually use in the operatory so they can manage their own waiting room and lets them, keeps that safe measures, right? Keeps the patients feeling safe. Um, and then what else I was going to say? Oh, keeping track of the missed and canceled patients right now, right? So, I mean, again, having everything in place right in your face, you don't have to do all that thinking. And, it's just like I said, it's like having a personal assistant there that's helping you through the day. And it's fully integrated. It's like right on screen. So it's very, very easy to use. You're not flipping back and forth between a web browser because that, again, inefficient to work off of and can be annoying, right? So, yeah.
Everything's just getting populated all in one spot, and it makes life easier for everybody.
Yeah, and it's connected with your scheduling. So the two systems are always talking to each other. So if you've got full integration there, things that you're working far more efficient. And if you're able to work, I mean, the whole goal for RecallMax is we want to give you back the time so you can spend that staying connected with your patients, because that's key, especially at a time like this, right? When people aren't so comfortable with coming in, we want to ensure their safety. We want to talk to them. That personal engagement is going to give you a 20 to 30% higher response rate of them coming back to that practice, right? So if we can allow you to connect with more patients in a day, we're doing our job right.
That sounds like a pretty good deal from my end of things.
Yeah.
And speaking of sounding like a pretty good deal, I mean, we've got everything going on between DentalPeers and RecallMax. We sort of work together to try to say, hey, this is a system that everyone that's a member of DentalPeers should be taking a look at. What else can they look forward to between RecallMax and DentalPeers to really make them say, you know what, this is something that I should take a closer look at?
Yeah, so for DentalPeers, I mean, the first step would be hopping online and doing a demo so you can actually see how powerful the system can be. Most people, once they see it, they're like, oh my God, sign me up. And then, of course, as a DentalPeers member, you do get a lot of perks as well. We're offering you a free health check so you can understand. Health check is a report, sort of similar to a practice analysis, where you can see exactly where your recall stands, what patients are falling through the crack, and what your realistic revenue opportunity is if you sort of change the scope of how you're working your recalls. And then, of course, you do get a free trial period of 2 months. We waive the setup fee as well for you guys. We have absolutely no contract, so there's zero risk to get started and so much reward. It's about a 15 to 20% revenue increase of using our software as well, which we track in our analytics, the results that you're getting. And then beyond that free trial, peers members get special pricing as well. So
we always like that.
Of course, right? So the way we look at it as our pricing structure, if we can help you just book 1 to 2 hygiene appointments a month, the system has paid for itself, but you'll be getting far more out of that from using our system.
And I think that's sort of an important touch point that I want to emphasize for people, because of course the natural tendency is dentists are going to look at this and it's like, oh my God, I got to spend this much money for this system. They're thinking of it as an expense. I want everyone to kind of look at it as a bit more of an investment. If this is going to be something that you can, yes, you're going to have to put out a little bit of money to have this, but you're going to spend that money on salaries for your team anyway. So
well, yeah.
Look at this as being something that then draws in more revenue, and that winds up becoming an investment. And we can actually start thinking about what is your rate of return on the investment, as if we were, we're talking to your financial advisor.
Exactly. And it's on average a 15 to 20% return in your investment if you're using the system moderately. But if you're in your free trial period alone, the average practice will book 20 to 40 appointments using our system. So, I mean, that pays for months worth of services if you look at it like that, right? So we always need to weigh out what the cost is versus what's our gain here. And if our gain is surpassing the cost, then it's a no-brainer to me, right? You might be paying, $3,000 for a system for a year, but if it's bringing you $100,000, I mean, there's no brainer there, right? So
absolutely. And hey, Dental Peers members, just so you know, the more of you that we can get signed up, the lower we can actually get our rates, because it's kind of a tiered structure. So the more members that are using it, you know, if you're one of those members using it, and you know some of your colleagues that are members of Dental Peers not using it yet, talk to them, because the more we get signed up, the cheaper it actually becomes for you.
Exactly. And I mean, talk to the dental peers. Like, there's a lot of them that are absolutely love the system. So talk to each other, get the feedback from someone who's actually been using it, and then come and talk to me, and I'm happy to share more.
Speaking of talking to you, Rita, if they want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, so they can just actually call my cell phone or text my cell phone right away. It's 647-949-1466, or they can shoot me over an email as well. My last name is
number again. It kind of, you just froze quickly. Can you say that number
okay.
again?
Yeah, it's 647-949-1466.
Okay.
And then they can email me as well. Actually, you know what? I will just write it out for you right here.
Good idea.
This is my cell phone number. For anybody that missed it, I won't try to spell out my last name because most people will spell it wrong. So just text me or call me.
And then, of course, we've got members that are out west and in Atlantic Canada. There's people that if they wanted to reach out to, what's the best options for them as well?
Yeah, so just connect with me, and then I will connect you over to Michaela. She is our Prairies representative. And then I look after Ontario all the way over to the Maritimes. We are in the process of hiring a new team member as well. So obviously, depending on where you're based, I will connect you to the right person.
Excellent. Well, Rita, thanks very much for taking the time to join us today. Dental Peers people, looking forward to bringing you the next installment of Meet Our Partners. Who knows who our mystery guest will be at that point in time. But in the meantime, if you have not taken a look at RecallMax, by all means, this is a great opportunity to do so. I think you're going to find that it is more than just what you think of when you think of patient communication systems. So take a look and reach out to Rita if you have any questions. Thanks for joining us, Rita.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Take care, everyone. Until next time on Meet Our Partners.